Welcome back to the grind. In this video, we're going to talk about the legendary warriors of this new tier. First, we are going to talk about Crasta, which actually seems pretty viable and fairly fun to use, but will struggle against defenders like most dragons do. Crasta's first spell is Entangle, which is an active white 1-rage spell that damages all nearby towers for 8% of the dragon's modified HP, freezes them for 2 seconds, and then the frozen towers take 50% increased damage for the rest of the battle. And then it has a 4-second cooldown. Now it's too bad this freeze is not longer, and I thought it was supposed to be a little bit longer, either 3 or 4 seconds, but we'll see when it's released. Then he has Nature's Wrath, which is an active white 2-rage spell that fires a projectile at an automatically chosen tower, dealing 75% of the dragon's modified HP as damage, and it has a 3-second cooldown, and unfortunately that is a fairly expensive spell. Then Infusion is an active blue 1-rage spell that restores 3 rage on cast, so you're netting plus 2 rage, and then you gain health back when you destroy towers for 4 seconds, and then it has a 4-second cooldown after that. And then he has Magic Barrier. So for Crasta, you want to start off with Entangle after the towers fire their super shots, but before you get hit by them, so then it wastes the super shots. You get increased damage bonus against those towers. You can use Nature's Wrath to take out a tower quickly. I think it prioritizes the blue mage first, so then you can use Infusion to gain back some rage. Once the freeze effect ends, you can use Magic Barrier to protect yourself a little longer while Entangle is on cooldown, and then use Entangle again to disable the towers longer, and then depending on rage and what towers are left, you can decide to use Nature's Wrath again as well to destroy another tower. So here is an example of Crasta flying. You can see the Entangle disabling or freezing all the towers, I should say, that blue spell regenerating some rage, and that white 2-rage spell that destroys towers instantly. And then the Magic Barrier at the top. You can see how you can disable the towers and then use the Magic Barrier to protect yourself, using the blue spell to regenerate rage, and then fueling that Entangle spell again to keep the towers frozen as much as possible. But it does look like the freeze duration is only about 2 seconds in this footage that they have shared with us. So that is a little bit disappointing, but hopefully with his ability to use Magic Barrier and that spell to destroy towers instantly and gain back the rage, it won't be too difficult. But again, with the defender and the right towers with super shots, it will be fairly simple to take this dragon down unless he's hitting at a lower tier. Next, we will talk about Montague, the legendary fire warrior. Now, this dragon is fairly interesting and the spells are kind of unique. I didn't have much success flying him, but I know that others had a little bit more success than I did. I didn't have a lot of time to move riders and stuff around in testing for this dragon, unfortunately. But his first spell is Shield of Savagery, which is a white active 2-rage spell that gives the dragon a shield for 3 seconds to block all incoming damage, which is pretty strong. When the shield expires, the dragon gains increased breath damage for 4 seconds based on how much damage was blocked, up to a total of 250% bonus damage, and that's pretty significant bonus damage, but unfortunately it is periodic and relies on how much damage you will take. And if you use his next spell, Boulder Smash, to disable the towers, or freeze them I should say, that limits the damage that you take, so you don't want to combine those two spells at the same time. And so Boulder Smash is a white 1-rage spell that damages towers in a target area for 12% of the dragon's modified HP as damage, and freezes them for 3 seconds and then has a 3-second cooldown. This is pretty similar to Hyaku's Meteor spell as far as the range of effect that it has. It is a targeting spell, so you do have to point and click where you want it to go. It does a small amount of damage and freezes them for 3 seconds, so it can be useful to stop projectiles or mage super shots. Next is Primal Strength, which is a passive spell that cycles every 5 seconds, and every 5 seconds it will heal the dragon for 8% of his modified HP and add 8% bonus breath damage, which stacks up to 200%. So that means at max, if you combine that with the Shield of Savagery at max, you'll have an additional 450% bonus breath damage. So he has potential to build up that damage over the long term, but that means at baseline, without either of those built up, he doesn't really deal a significant amount of damage. And finally, he has adaptive flak resist, which is interesting for a warrior. You cycle between the different flak types to give additional rage each time you cast it and give a resistance to that flak type. So here's an example of his spells. You can see the meteor he's firing off, and then the bottom spell is a shield. And if you watch closely when we round the corner, you can see the difference in the damage that a breath attack does after the shield expires and gives the bonus breath damage. But you can also tell here with the shield active, when you're freezing towers, you're not getting that damage, which means you're not going to get the most increased breath damage afterwards if you're stopping towers from dealing damage to you while that shield is active. So you want to avoid using the boulder smash while your shield is active because it absorbs all damage, and you want to absorb as much damage as possible to get the maximum breath damage bonus, which is 250%, to allow you to clear towers quickly once those spells are on cooldown. So that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful for those who will be breeding these dragons this upcoming breeding event. Good luck to everyone in breed event, and I'll see you in the next video.